The Madden 24 quarterback ratings have been released, and like every single year, they're awful. They were awful last year, and they are once again awful this year, man. So look at this. Patrick Mahomes is a 99 overall. Highest rated quarterback in this year's game. No problem with that. Joe Burrow has a 95 overall. He should at least be a 97. Joe Burrow, without a doubt, is the second best quarterback in the NFL. And the difference between Patrick Mahomes, there's a gap, but it's not a big mountain. Joe Burrow needs to be at least a 97 overall. Josh Allen, I think he should at least be a 96 overall. Even though he had all those turnover issues, Josh Allen still is him. He's still the third best quarterback in the league right now. But, I mean, that's just me being a little bit picky. They got the top three right. I don't think the ratings are too bad. But this is where I really start to get blowed. Lamar Jackson, 91 overall, after he's missed the second half of the last two seasons for the Baltimore Ravens. You have to punish him for that. His rating has to drop for not being able to play for the second half of the last couple of years. And plus, he has regressed statistically. Ever since his MVP year, his numbers have got worse and worse. Now, I'm not saying Lamar Jackson is a bad quarterback, but I'm just saying in terms of his Madden rating, it needs to be bumped down under a 90. You can give him an 89 or an 88, but he shouldn't be a 91 overall. That's just a little bit too high for a guy who hasn't been able to stay healthy during the most important part of the NFL season. And plus, he's regressed statistically. Now, when he bounces back this year, then you can start bopping up his overall a couple of notches. I think he probably will end up with a 97 overall or 96 overall by the end of this year, because I think he's going to have an MVP season with Todd Monken being their new OC. Now, Jalen Hurts, I think this was really disrespectful. Do you know who was the runner-up behind Patrick Mahomes for MVP this year? Jalen Hurts should at least be a 90 overall. He should have even been considered for being on the cover of this year's game. Jalen Hurts had a fantastic season. I don't think Jalen Hurts deserved to be an 88. He should at least be a 90. You could have at least given Jalen Hurts a 90 overall. He's one of the best deep ball passers in the league, in my opinion. He throws really fantastic outside of the numbers. His deep accuracy better be an 88 or an 89. Then you got Justin Herbert at 87. Man, I don't think I'm going to get too mad at that one. Even though I probably would give him an 89. I can't give Justin Herbert a 90. Simply because of what happened in that playoff game. Not saying it was all his fault, but I just can't give him a 90. I can't give him a 90. I got to give him an 89 at best, but I don't think 87 is too bad. Dak Prescott, fam, 87? Stop it. Stop it. Dak Prescott? Dak Prescott. So if I'm seeing this correctly, they have Dak Prescott as a top 5, top 10-ish quarterback? No way. Absolutely no way. I'm literally seeing this right now with my own two eyes. Dak Prescott, 87 overall? They have this man as a top 10 QB. Oh, they got these ratings all wrong. They got these ratings all wrong. There's no reason why Dak Prescott should be rated this high. You got to remember that, yeah, Dak Prescott is a solid QB, but he's one of those 85 overall quarterbacks. He's one of those QBs that should always be somewhere around 84, 85 overall. I can't believe they let Dak Prescott be rated this high in this year's game. He's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They got this man that's the 7th best quarterback. Oh my goodness, who is in charge of making these ratings? Because they got to stop it. Aaron Rodgers at an 86? I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't, because if you're going to punish Aaron Rodgers for having one down year, you got to keep that same energy with Lamar Jackson. Aaron Rodgers won back-to-back MVPs a year ago. Lamar Jackson hasn't had a season anywhere close his last couple of years to his MVP year. There's no way you're going to let Lamar Jackson slide with that and keep him at a 91 overall, but you're going to drastically punish Aaron Rodgers and give him an 86. You're going to rate Dak Prescott higher than Aaron Rodgers when he owns the Cowboys? I don't know about this. I don't know about this one. I think you at least got to give Aaron Rodgers a 90 out of respect. You do. Because even when Tom Brady had left New England and he went to the Bucs, they still respected him. So I think out of respect for Aaron Rodgers and his greatness and what he's done throughout his career, despite one down year, this dude won back-to-back MVPs, but yet Lamar Jackson still gets to be rated a 91? Despite the fact that he's missed the second half of the previous 2 years and he's regressed statistically? Come on, EA. What's wrong with y'all? What y'all doing up in there? There's no way. Absolutely no way they just put Dak Prescott ahead of Aaron Rodgers. Wow. Oh my God. The audacity is at an all-time high for EA. Not only do they got the nerve to continually put out a bad game year after year, but they have the audacity to put Dak Prescott ahead of Aaron Rodgers. They got to stop this madness, man. They got to stop this madness. Kirk Cousins at an 84. On the low, I feel like Kirk Cousins should at least be an 86. He should at least be an 86. Let's not act like Kirk Cousins wasn't snapping last year for Minnesota. I feel like he is one of those 85-ish QBs, 84-ish. But I do feel like you should at least have Kirk Cousins at an 85. 86. Now, Tua at an 83. I feel like Tua should at least be an 86. At least you could at least give Tua an 86. I mean, yeah, you got to penalize him for missing a couple of games with injury, but remember, you got Lamar Jackson at a 91 overall, despite the fact that he's missed the second half of the previous 2 seasons back to back. And he's regressed statistically since his MVP season. But Tua's at an 83? You could have at least given Tua a 85. 83, I feel like that stands for average. 84, 85, I feel like that's pretty good. But they got this all wrong, man. Like, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, they're cool, but I mean, technically, you could put anybody here at number 4, honestly. But me personally, based off last season, I probably would have given Justin Herbert an 89, and I would have slid him up here. Or maybe Jalen Hurts slides in at number 4 over Justin Herbert. But I don't think you can have Dak Prescott over Aaron Rodgers. Or even over Tua. Just off of respect for what Aaron Rodgers has done over his career. This dude won back-to-back MVPs prior to last season. Now, we look at 11 through 20. They get even worse. Justin Fields out of 76? Show some respect. Justin Fields carried the Chicago Bears last season. And he was the best quarterback in fantasy football last year. You should have at least given Justin Fields at least an 81 or an 82. You could have at least given him an 81 or an 82. At least an 81 or an 82. Now, Ryan Tannehill at 76 overall. You could have given him an 80. Ryan Tannehill isn't boo-boo. Okay, Ryan Tannehill is the definition of a solid quarterback. He's a top 15 QB still, in my opinion, when he's healthy. And yeah, he's getting old, and he probably is going to regress this year, but the season hasn't started yet, so you should at least give Ryan Tannehill an 80. Russell Wilson, 77 overall. Yeah, like, I feel like you got to give Russell Wilson a 77 overall. Like, I know it was one down season, but oh my God. Shit hit the fan in Denver last season. Like, Russell Wilson was, ew. Yeah, like, you got to give Russell Wilson a 77. Like, he got to redeem himself. Jimmy Garoppolo, 77. I probably will give him a 76. personally. Even though he wasn't bad last year for San Francisco, I just think he's mid. I feel like a 76 overall for him is mid. And that's what he is as a QB. Now, a 78 for Derek Carr, I feel like, honestly, I think this is probably their second or third most accurate rating that they've given out when it comes to quarterbacks outside of Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. Personally, Derek Carr at a 78, I think that's chilling. Y'all think that's chilling? I think that's chilling. 78 overall for Derek Carr, I think that's okay. I think Derek Carr probably deserves a 78. Kyler Murray at 79. Honestly, I feel like you got to give Kyler Murray a 81. I would have given Kyler Murray a 81, but them giving a 79 rating is one of those ratings that, you know, I'm not going to get too mad over because I understand. All right, I understand. But I'm not going to penalize him for playing most of last year and getting injured late in the season. And even though he wasn't great last season, Kyler Murray still is a really good QB. I mean, if we're going off, you know, what he's done, he's gotten better every single season. So it's like, you know, last year was a down year for him, but it's just one down season. I would at least have given him an 81. Now, Deshaun Watson at a 78. You know, I feel like that's fair. Okay, I feel like they got that one right. And here's why. Yeah, I feel like they got that one right. And this is why I feel like they got that one right. Deshaun Watson, you got to remember that he was out of football for a while and he came back and he was rusty. So 78 for him, I think, is fair. Jared Goff at an 80. Jared Goff at an 80. I feel like you at least got to give Jared Goff a 81 like Geno Smith. I feel like they're on the same tier. And Geno Smith, honestly, like, if you was going to give anybody a lower rating than what they should have gotten, it probably should have been Geno Smith. You probably could have slept on Geno Smith again, just in my opinion. Okay, Jared Goff was really good, but you got to remember Geno Smith had one great season. If you're going to sleep on Tua, then you got to sleep on Geno Smith a little bit. You could have at least given him what you gave Jared Goff at 80. All right, now Jared Goff, like, if you keep Geno Smith at an 80, I'm cool with Jared Goff staying at 80. But if you're going to give Geno Smith 81 or anything higher, Jared Goff should have the same rating. You got to remember that the second half of last season, Jared Goff threw no interceptions. He had a 14-0 touchdown interception ratio. Jared Goff was arguably a fringe top 10 quarterback at the end of last year. Him and that offense, with that offensive coordinator that they got, is scary. Real scary. And when Jameson Williams comes back, it's going to get deadly. It's going to get terrorizing. Now, Trevor Lawrence at an 82. It's like, if Jalen Hurts made that big of a leap in one season, I think you at least got to give Trevor Lawrence an 85. Trevor Lawrence is in ascension mode. It's like Tua is at an 83. Trevor Lawrence should be at an 85. Trevor Lawrence was on demon mode at the end of last year. Trevor Lawrence, I feel like you got to give him an 85. Just out of respect for what he was able to do with a legitimate situation. So these are my reactions and my thoughts on the Madden 24 quarterback ratings. Let me know which ones would you change? Which ones do you agree with, disagree with? Down in the comment section down below.